Hi folks, a warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. Sander here to go through everything Celtic, the big Stuttgart game on Thursday night. We'll go through the latest news, we'll do the competitions and everything else in between as we always do. Let's say hello to John. How are you, John?
Aye, alright. Aye, it was alright. I've been catching up the news, nothing really much happening yet again. I mean, you don't expect much to happen this time of the season, but Finlay Curtis, he's kind of starting to make headlines with what I pointed out when it happened. These over-exuberant celebrations in front of the Celtic fans, get it up yous and all that stuff, and then the second goal, he's in the back of the net doing the same thing. Big Casper throws him out the net, then at full time he's up winding the Celtic players up. Neil McCann gets involved, Big Scales gets involved. Partner Big Scales taking absolutely no nonsense off any of them.
Yeah, basically what that wee guy's trying to do, he's trying to do a Stephen Welsh. You know, you've not got it in you trying to do a Stephen Welsh. He caused your team to drop 2 points, Big Welsh, and your team, Kilmarnock, you know, dropping all 3 points. So absolutely no comparison there, John, whatsoever. Yeah, I did see that as well. It actually makes it all the sweeter, John, getting that last second winner.
This is it, isn't it? I mean, I was aware of it for the first goal. I wasn't sure if it was him or no. I had to check when I watched the highlights later on, I had to watch the replay to see the numbers. And there it was. I had an idea it would have been him, the only Rangers player on loan there. But look, you're inciting a lot of trouble when you do that to the Celtic fans. You can't run up to fans and do that. And it's not as if it was just a quick fist pump. He was there for about 7 seconds doing it. The second goal, he's run right into the back of the net, and he's doing the same thing in the back of the net to the Celtic fans. I love Big Casper's reaction. Just grabs him, threw him out like a wet towel. Yeah, well, that's it. He gets his comeuppance in the end, didn't he? Anyway, John, that's that. It's done now. Did you see the full time? Did you see him at full time? He's always flapping his arms about when Celtic players react to it. As if, what have I done? Are you not aware of what you're doing? But I don't know if you've seen it at full time where I think he was having a go at Big Liam Scales. Big Liam was having none of it, and then McCann gets involved. But you're not going to mess about with Big Liam. He's a big boy, you know what I mean? He's not going to take a big Irish boy. He's not going to take any nonsense off a couple of wee weasels like that.
Yeah, McCann, you know, the same team that he sent out to Ibrox to lose 5-1, so the goal difference is sky high. Yeah, we understand exactly what's going on there, John. But as I say, John, makes it even better that we got the 3 points against Kilmarnock. And you know what? You watch their next game, they get pumped again, you know, off of I don't know, who's near the Livingston or something, John, you know. Anyway, let's get into the latest news surrounding Celtic just now. And by the way, competition, if you want to get your guess in for the Stuttgart game just now, get your guess in for the correct score competition, league table on your left-hand side. One guess each into the comments to win the fantastic prize. If you finish top of that league table, you'll get the fantastic prize. Collins is in the prize position just now in second. John's at the top because he can't win the prize. So Collins in the prize position in second place with everybody else following and behind there. Still a lot of games to go. So get your guess in for this one. If you want to join the league table, not a problem. Put your name into the comment section and just add that you want to join the league table. I will add you to the league table. Better late than never, I suppose. And it gets your foot in the door for next season's league table as well. Right. Hit that like button, folks. If you don't mind, hit the like button. The likes have gone up nicely. It's good to see the likes going up. So if you don't mind, hit the like button. Well, I'm talking nonsense. Okay, that's enough of that, John. Let's get into the latest news. Obviously, the meeting with the board and the Celtic fans groups, the Green Brigade and the Celtic fans collective, John, is going to be taking place later on today, Wednesday, that is. So we're hoping for a good, positive outcome of that. We want everything resolved. We want the Celtic fans back into Celtic Park, you know, the Green Brigade. We want to see the Green Brigade where they belong, into the stadium, causing a fantastic atmosphere. So we want that sorted. And of course, all the other wee bits and bobs that, you know, the Celtic fans are not happy about. Nicholson, he'll be in that meeting today as well, John. He'll be in the meeting. So hopefully we can get something resolved before the Stuttgart game.
I really don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? I think obviously the board need to look at the situation and they need to look at it good. How it's affecting the team on the park. That's the most important thing. It's affecting the team on the park, the performances. I'm not sure if that's the reason that, you're getting lacklustre performances at Celtic Park, scraping by against Falkirk and Dundee. It's just not good enough. I don't know if the fans not being there is playing a part in that. But if it is, then the board have got to act pronto and get them back in for the Stuttgart game. I don't know if the fans not being there is playing a part in that. It's hard to say, isn't it? A lot of players say, nah, we just got on with it. But you can tell there's a kind of, they're hanging back with what they're saying there. I think definitely if you're looking around a big stadium like Celtic Park, 60,000 fans in it, that 60,000 seats in it, and there's only 35, 40,000 fans there, that's going to affect you because it's too big a stadium to have such a small crowd in it. Even though, look, 35, 40,000 is a lot of people. But in a stadium that has 60,000, it looks like fans aren't interested to the players. That's what it looks like to me anyway. It just looks like fans on the want, they've lost interest, although that's not the case.
Well, I think excuse me, I think the thing with the fans and the players, John, I think the players realise there's an atmosphere in and around Celtic Park, as in regards to, the arguments between the board and the fans groups. The players can feel it. It doesn't need to be coming from the stands. They know there's an atmosphere in and around the club, I feel like. So that's going to affect the players, I think. And as regards to the Green Brigade not being allowed into Celtic Park, yeah, it's going to affect the players, of course it is. But then you've got the fans showed up at Rugby Park and their numbers, and we still struggled against Kilmarnock, John. Struggled in a big way against Kilmarnock, 2-0 down at half time. So yes, I think it's just the atmosphere in general around the full club that's causing the problem, John, and that's what we want to get ironed out later on today.
Aye, it's everything. There's a lot of things. Look, you go to Rugby Park, you're going to expect a tough game anyway on that ridiculous pitch. You may as well just playing on sandpaper or something. It's ridiculous. And you've got Dodge and McCann, BBC Rangers at the helm. They're going to have their team fighting for absolutely everything against Celtic. Won't be that case against any other teams. It'll just be like that with Celtic. But obviously they want to stop Celtic winning the league. I think every team wants to stop Celtic winning the league. So it's going to be, we're going to have a tough run in. But I think there's a lot of things affecting the performances on the park. It's not just the fans. I agree with you there.
Yeah, as regards to the running as well, John, you just mentioned that they're running the next 6 games in 17 days. 6 games in 17 days. Stuttgart at home, Hibs at home, Stuttgart away the 26th of February, Rangers away on the 1st of March, Aberdeen away on the 4th of March, and Rangers away again on the 8th of March. 6 extremely tough games, John. I know we had a wee word on it in the last podcast, but if we come out the other end of these games unscathed, no injuries, and still in with a shout of the Scottish Cup and the league, John, sitting top and we're still in the Scottish Cup, I think we've been in a tremendous place.
We can't look that far ahead. I know it's only 6 games, but we come to the end of the season. 6 games seems a long way away, doesn't it, when you're coming to the end of the season? There's 3 teams in the running. Any of them could win it. Celtic's still no hitting form. Still getting these last kick of the ball winners. Very exciting if you're a Celtic fan, but also in the same breath, it's nail biting. It's frustrating. I don't want to see any more of that. I want to see Celtic getting these teams finished off by half time. I know easier said than done, isn't it? But what I was thinking, looking at Celtic, right now they don't look much better than any other team in Scotland, to be honest with you. It looks like all the other teams have caught up.
Yeah, I think because of the season we've had, John, obviously the Nancy thing, Brendan Rodgers thing, Martin O'Neill coming in and then leaving and then coming back again, it's going to take its toll. As soon as Martin O'Neill came back for the second time this season, I did ask you the question, will we have it in us to go for a 4th time this season? And your answer was, we need to have it in us. We need to go again for a 4th time under a different manager again. And I think it's a struggle, and I think it is a struggle, and it's still a struggle. But in the same breath, we're getting the results, albeit it's last-minute winners, John, but it's still wins under the belt. Martin O'Neill's still unbeaten. So we're still waiting on it clicking, John, aren't we? We're still waiting on the team clicking together. But all these injuries, John, is certainly no helping the situation. You know, your Carter Vickers, your Johnstons, your Arnie Engels, your other players that have been out, Sarachis, Aniachos, all these players that have been out for most of the season. You put it all together, John, into one big pot, and it just adds up to where we are actually at right now as a club.
Aye, it does. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what the problem is. But like all the things you mentioned, injuries and all that stuff, and me saying a couple of minutes ago that the teams look like they've all caught up. I don't mean it like they've caught up in that sense. What I mean is Celtic have declined so far. They've went backwards. So I know we're getting the wins now. We're starting to string the wins together, and it's really exciting to watch. But we're still no performing to a level that we're used to seeing Celtic performing at. Look, we're no feeling entitled here. We've been through the dark ages, both us and many, many other Celtic fans been through the dark ages. And in the dark ages, this would be called a chance to win the league. You know what I mean? We'd be looking at it as we could win this league because we were winning nothing back then. So when you look at it that way, of course Celtic can go on and win the league. It is exciting. It's an exciting finish to the league. But it looks to me like the teams have caught up in the sense that Celtic have declined, if you like, so far back. I think that's probably what the problem is. And Celtic have declined. You can't deny that. The performances they're not what they were last season.
No, well, the decline is there for everybody to see, John. There's a reason why we're going out and signing 5 or 6 loan players, John. When did Celtic ever do that? Celtic over the last couple of decades anyway, I've went out and signed their own players. Now we've got 6 loan players at the club. And it seems to me to be a wee bit panic loan signings to try and get us over the line. It's not good enough for Celtic, John, realising, and that's where the board situation comes in again into it. No funds given to any of the 4 managers this season. Martin O'Neill twice, Nancy and Brendan Rodgers at the start of the season, John. There just wasn't enough money spent this season, was there?
No. I mean, we've got a couple of half decent. I think we haven't seen enough of him. I know he's been injured a lot, but when he does play, I think he performs better than any of the strikers that's there. I think he puts in a harder shift. I just think he's a better striker than the ones that's there already. Adamu, no seen really enough of him. Young boy into performances, bit lacklustre. Doesn't put enough effort in for me. Very slow. What's the other boy we signed?
Adamu and Cavanchara.
No, the other boy that plays out in the wing. I think he played one half for Celtic and he was subbed. He's made an appearance since. Can't remember his name. That's how, I mean, you're not going to remember somebody that never plays. But we had Adamu, Vanchara, he's alright. He's set up a couple of goals and he's scored as a goal as well. He looks alright. I'm not overly impressed, but he looks alright. Is he Celtic quality? Is he worth £7 million price tag that his club is looking for him? So far, I've not seen it. Have you?
No. Well, I mean, he did set up the winning goal against Kilmarnock, which was brilliant, wasn't it? A lovely wee turn inside the box and fizzes the ball right across. He's quite pacey, that boy, isn't he?
Pace is no use when you're playing in Scotland, Xander, as a striker. It's absolutely no use. Team's part of the bus in the 18-yard box. You don't get much chance to use that pace, do you?
Yeah, that's it, John. But he did get to use it against Kilmarnock and it was brilliant. And without that, we don't get that winning goal, John. So, as regards to any actual, John, let's having a wee quick look at him. His last game was the 1st of February. He's fully fit, John. He's just went down the pecking order. So, he's behind Cavanchara and Junior Adamu in the rankings, John, the pecking order, if you like. So, I'd like to see him climb back up into the pecking order, John, because he is a decent striker. And before he got injured, John, He was banging the goals in for us and he was playing some decent stuff.
I like him. I do like him. I don't go to Celtic training every day, obviously. I don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but if he's fell down the pecking order, there's something happened there. Vanchara, I mean, it reminds me of Jan Vennegoor Hesselink a wee bit. It looks a wee bit like him, kind of moves a wee bit like him. If he could score the goals like him, that would be fine. Look, he looks half decent. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's just, so far what I've seen, it's not what I expect from a striker at Celtic. Celtic's had great strikers over the years. I know he's only played a handful of games, but so far he's just, I don't know if he's not getting the service or what. I really don't know, but there's just something missing there for me.
Yeah, it's definitely something missing, but you know, it's early doors, isn't it, as well, as you say, John? It's early doors, but we're doing okay. We just need to, as you say, John, we need to get the goals scored. But we're getting a lot of chances, and we're not burying and some chances are clear cut, John. They really are clear cut chances. So we need to start burying them, John, and then that puts these teams to bed nice and early. And because we're not burying these teams, clearly it's gone to the very last kick of the ball. So we want that to end as well, don't we, as soon as possible. Stuttgart, we'll do the preview of that in a wee minute, but that's a different level altogether, John. And the wee winger you were talking about earlier on was Mvika, Joel Mvika. He played one half, John, and we've not seen him since. It's only been a couple of games, I suppose, so you never know, we might see a wee bit more of him. But that brings me nicely on to the players that have been added to the European list, John. Obviously, we spoke about Araujo, who was added to the European list, so he's available to play against Stuttgart. Adamu has also been added, and Kvanchara has also been added to the Euro list, John, for 2 games at least anyway.
Well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, you might see the best out of Vanchara because teams won't park the bus. European teams like Stuttgart won't park the bus, so you might see the best of Vanchara in games like that in Europe, where he gets a chance to run at defenders because he'll be offered a lot more space than he gets against Dundee and Kilmarnock and Falkirk.
100%, John, 100%. So, you know, Stuttgart, we're going to go into that in a wee minute, but they're very, very high level, John, totally different level from what we're used to in the Scottish game. You know, your Dundee's last minute goal, Kilmarnock last minute goal, Falkirk last minute goal. They get a chance, John, they'll take it. Just like the other teams, actually, John. Falkirk take their chances, Kilmarnock taking their chances. So, I suppose we'll be used to that, teams scoring goals against us. So, but we'll get into that in a wee minute, John. Just one more wee bit of news. Not really news, but Martin O'Neill in charge against Stuttgart. That'll be his 1,000th game in charge as a manager. 1,000 games, absolutely outstanding, John. So if he reaches that 1,000 games in charge as a manager, which he will clearly, he will be added to the LMA Hall of Fame. I don't know what LMA stands for, something Manager Association, I would imagine. But he'll be added to the LMA Hall of Fame for 1,000 games in charge as a manager. It's absolutely outstanding. Well done, Martin O'Neill.
Of course, he's a legend, Martin O'Neill, isn't he?
Yeah,
the guy's been around forever. Coming back to manage a big club like Celtic at 73, 74, whatever he is, coming up for 74, I think. Or is he 74? I'm not sure, but
yes.
It's an outstanding achievement for him, innit? Thoroughly deserved to get these honours. Like, the only way he could top that is by going on to win the league and the cup for Celtic. Well, it's a long way to go before we start talking about that. We'll wait and see. We've got hard games coming up. But well done to Martin O'Neill anyway. Absolute legend. It's great seeing him back at Celtic. It's still a bit surreal, isn't it, seeing him there?
Yeah, it's good actually. All these managers we've had over the last couple of decades, and Martin's came back. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. League Managers Association. So there you go. The League Managers Association Hall of Fame. Martin O'Neill will be entering that on Thursday night. Right, John. Let's get into the Stuttgart game then. The big game, big Euro game. A lot of people are saying, I've heard a lot of people saying to me personally, that, you know, they wouldn't be too upset if Celtic get knocked out of the Europa League, right? Fair enough, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Because you look at Rangers, you look at Hearts, John, both can totally concentrate on the league title, John, challenging for the league title. Celtic can't solely concentrate on that. We're still in Europe, we're still in the Scottish Cup. We're fighting on 3 fronts just now, and we also got to the League Cup final, so it was 4 fronts at one point we were fighting on. So considering that, John, we're doing pretty well. But no, a lot of fans thinking that they wouldn't be too upset if we got knocked out. But I'm the opposite. I know you think the same as the other fans, John, that think that, but I just want us to go on a decent Europa League run, John. But a very tough start when we play Stuttgart in the playoff round on Thursday night. That's going to be a big hurdle to try and get over.
I'd be all right with Europe if it was a big squad. We had a big squad full of quality, but we haven't got that. This is the problem I've got with Europe this season. And last season probably. We don't have a big enough squad, enough quality in a squad to go and compete in Europe and the league. That's why I keep saying I don't really care. I'm not hoping Celtic to beat. I'm not saying that. I don't hope Celtic to beat. Every time I watch Celtic, I want them to win. But Europe is irrelevant to me because of the squad size and the quality in the squad. Then we've got to go 2 days later on the Sunday and play a very, very hard game against Hibs, isn't it? It's too tough. You're asking too much from a very small squad that's lacking in quality, if you ask me.
It's a big ask, John. It really is. It's a massive ask, especially against Stuttgart, sitting 4th in the German Bundesliga, John. Absolutely brilliant team, Stuttgart. They're on form. Okay, they lost to St. Pauli last week, John, but they clawed their way back to winning ways with a win against Colin, 3-1 against Colin at the weekend there, John. So they're back into winning ways, and that was always going to be the case before they come to Celtic Park. But I just think it's a wee run in Europe would be absolutely fantastic as well. A round of 16 or a round of 8, something like that, John, would be absolutely tremendous. Even further would be better. But we'll wait and see, John. As you say, we've not got that big strength and depth in the squad, do we? Stuttgart, John, 4-4-2 formation. I don't know, 4-4-2. It's not a formation that clubs play anymore, is it? But that's their preferred formation, 4-4-2. Dennis Undav, he's their top scorer, John, with 17 goals in all competitions this season. He's a midfielder, by the way. So the top scorer's a midfielder. And Seb Honev is their manager, John. So a very decent team. Top scorer there in Undav, and Honev, a very, very top quality manager for Stuttgart there as well. So we're going to be up against it at Celtic Park, clearly. The odds for this one, John? The odds, Celtic win 23-10, just over the 2-1 mark for Celtic to win. The draw is 5-2, and Stuttgart are the favourites at Celtic Park at evens. John, what do you think of that?
I would kind of expect that when you're playing against the bigger German teams. I mean, we've turned Leipzig over at Celtic Park, didn't we?
Yeah, of course.
There is decent German teams we've turned over at Celtic Park, so never say never when it's Celtic that's involved. Maybe a wee bit of confidence from these last minute winners for Celtic. You've got to imagine that would give them a lift. I'm kind of taken aback by Stuttgart being the favourites, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just slight favourites, John, above Celtic, because 2-1 evens. It's close. It is quite close. The bookmakers obviously think this is going to be a close game, but they're favourites nevertheless, John. So that's Stuttgart for you, and that more or less rounds it up as regards to Stuttgart. Apart from the striker, John, Demirovic up front, he is in all competitions 7 goals for him. So clearly, Undav is the man to watch, John. The man from midfield. Hopefully, we can put Callum McGregor on him, John, and block his way to goal, because he's clearly a top finisher.
Aye. I mean, Nygren's our top goal scorer. He's scored more than all our strikers combined. Mm-hmm. That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says it all. Yeah. Strikers not striking, I think, is your favourite phrase, John. We've got strikers that don't strike. Obviously, Kvinchara's only here a couple of games, so we can't go by him. We've not really had a striker all season. You know, playing Johnny Kenny, he's away. We had Dyson Meader through the middle. He's not been on form for most of the season. And then Eniacho's been injured for most of the season. So our strikers have been limited this season, John, and I think that's why most of our goals are coming from defence and midfield.
Exactly, that's exactly why it's happening. But you've got Callum Osmond as well. He looked good under Mark O'Neill. He's still to come back. We'll see what happens when he comes back. I think March he's coming back. It's just a big list of good quality players missing for Celtic. That's why I'm still kind of a bit pessimistic about the whole thing, because we've not got that squad strength. It's a weak squad. Any of the players that we use right now get injured, we're knackered. We'll have to bring on inferior quality, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's get into the Celtic team then, John. You're right, John. The midfield is a big concern for me, and we've been screaming now for about 2 years, I think, to get another sort of a defensive type player into the midfield, John. Because what happens if Callum McGregor gets injured? Who have we got to step in there? Absolutely nobody, John. Nobody. Bernardo, Luke McCowan, is that it? Is that our options? And now we've got Arnie Engels injured as well, John. So, but we are now limited to a midfield three of Callum McGregor, Nygren and Rio Hatate, John, who's also off form, Rio. But we need to play him, John, because that's all we've got just now.
I know, that's worrying, that, isn't it? Nygren isn't the greatest player either, by the way. His performances, apart from scoring a load of goals for Celtic, some fantastic finishes, the free kick against Hearts and all that, he's got a great finish on him. And he is a decent player as well. I says to you, when he first signed, he looks like he fits right in at Celtic the way he plays. But I haven't seen that since from him. It's a concern for me. That I think the only strong midfielder that we've got, I mean, Nygren is great for getting the goals, that, like I says, maybe stick Nygren up front, I don't know. But we're lacking in real quality in the centre of the park, Xander. It's a big concern.
Yeah, and as I said at the start there, John, the next 6 games, all very, very tough games. They really are. But they've done okay, the boys, you know. But I think the Arnie Engels injury is a bit of an eye-opener, John. We're really, really struggling now in the midfield. You know, one of their options clearly is Bernardo and Luke McCowan, who clearly, John, the manager just doesn't fancy them.
No, I don't fancy them either. I think we used to get a good shift out of Bernardo, but he's hardly played for the last couple of years. You can see why he's not performing too well. McCowan, hot and cold, isn't he? Sometimes he has an outstanding game. Most of the time it's lacklustre. That's why he's not in the starting squad.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's a concern, but you know, they're there if called upon, I suppose, John. They'll come in and they'll do their best for the club. But I think you'll stick to the tried and tested three. A quick word on Kasper Schmeichel. I know I've had a say. I've been mentioning Kasper Schmeichel since about the 5th game of the season. He is still a top goalkeeper, we understand that, but how long can we go on saying that he's a top goalkeeper, John? We're conceding goals in just about every single game, and we do realise, of course, that the defence is a big part to playing that as well. But Kasper, his distribution now as well, John, that's right out the window.
Aye, well, the whole team's a big part of that. I know his distribution isn't great, Schmeichel, right now. Like we've seen against Kilmarnock, he passed it right to a Kilmarnock player again, and he's through in goal. He gets defended, he gets it back, and he kicks it right out for a throw-in. So that is a concern for me, Kasper Schmeichel. I think it is for most Celtic fans, to be honest with you. But he's still not been dropped, even although he's conceded, I think, 42, 43 goals in all competitions. I don't know why he's getting regular starts, maybe just for the experience, I really don't know. But look, like I keep saying, you've got to defend as a team. You've got to defend from the front. I don't think that helps. I don't think the front not getting back in time, that doesn't help the midfield, and the midfield doesn't help the defence, and the defence doesn't help the keeper. It goes right through the whole team.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to the Ange Postecoglou days, right? And I know most of the players are still there, right? But where is the shutting down John, that we used to have, the closing down. Players want to get a second on the ball. I'm not saying it's gone, but it isn't as rapid as what it used to be. I used to love watching Celtic under Postecoglou, John. The way the opposite team didn't have the ball for any more than 5 seconds, John. Celtic have got it back. That's not happening now. Teams are getting a lot of space in the middle of the park, let's be honest. And the last 3 games have not been the top opposition that we can be up against, John. Your Dundees, your Falkirks, your Kilmarnocks, no offence to these teams, but they're not at the top level, let's be honest. And they're walking about the park like they've got all the time in the world, John. So, with Arnie Engels now missing from the team, John, I think midfield is now a big concern for us. But you've got to bear in mind as well, there is midfielders in there, John, your Callums, Rio Hatate and Nygren, John. If they could up their levels, maybe put an extra 10% in, John, I think the midfield would be okay.
I really don't know, but the closing down part of the game has been gone all season. Like you say, there's teams like Falkirk just walking about, passing the ball about in their own half, and Celtic players just letting them have it. I don't know if that's under the instruction of Martin O'Neill. Just let them have it, let them pass it about, and we'll break on them with the pace we've got up front. I don't know if that's an instruction from Martin O'Neill, but the high press is gone. That's long gone. I've not seen that the whole season. Maybe a couple of games we've seen it, but 99% of the season it's not been there. The high press is gone, and that's what Celtic's strength was: high pressing and winning the ball back. High up the park and creating chances. That's not happening. That is gone. That's why we're not finishing teams off, because we're not high pressing them.
Yeah, that's it, John. The high press. I don't think we've got the players to do that, let's be honest. I don't think we've got the players to do the high press. Now, Nygren, he's not going to do the high press. Izzy Rio's not going to do it. And then your wingers, as you say, John, they don't come back and things like that. So you've got to take it all into account. As you say, John, maybe it's under manager instruction. Right. Big Trusty, John, at the back. Bit of a bomb scare in the league, he really is, But in Europe, John, he saves his best for Europe. He really does. He does a tremendous job. Had some brilliant results in Europe this season. And Big Trusty's played an absolute blinder in Europe, John. So we're just hoping we get some of the same come Thursday night, and he can take it on into the running into the league and the cup as well, John. Because that's all we've got just now is Big Trusty. We need to rely on him.
Aye. It's I was watching Carter Vickers and Alistair Johnson at the Celtic store signing the tops and all that stuff. I was just thinking, look what we're missing: 2 cracking players. Carter Vickers, solid as a rock at the back. Alistair Johnson, brilliant at going forward and getting back. We really miss them, Xander. So you've got to look at the defence as well and say, look, we've got half of our defence missing, which we have. Half of our first team defence are missing. Araho's done a fantastic job. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I'd love Celtic to sign him on a permanent. Love his attitude. He's got a goal in him. He's very composed on the ball. But Alistair Johnson brings something else. I think something slightly different. I think the crosses he puts into the box, we're missing that. I don't think Araho's that type of player. I think he likes to get forward and create passes, that kind of player. But he's no one for whipping a fantastic cross to the back post to stick it in the net, or a flashed cross across the ground for a striker to get onto. I've not seen enough of that for him. But he offers different qualities, and he's a top player, Araho. But me personally, Alistair Johnson edges that for me with his flashed crosses across the face of the goal for a tap-in. We're missing that. And we're missing, obviously, Carter Vickers' presence at the back.
Absolutely. Missing Carter Vickers, of course, but we've missed him all season. So, Big Trusty, yeah, let's get him in there then, and putting a similar performance he's put in Europe for every game we've played, really. He's been solid in Europe. Well, the last 4 games anyway, and we'll take it for there, John, because the only other centre-half we've got available to us is Big Dane Murray, clearly. And I think he's a bit too young for the pressure, to be honest with you. And, of course, Benjamin Arthur, John, who was signed on loan as well, who's not kicked a ball yet.
I find that very strange that Bhoys no had even a substitute appearance. Martin O'Neill obviously doesn't think he's ready yet. That's the only thing I can think of. I was thinking about the bench at Celtic as well, how good it would be to see somebody like Johan Mjällby in there, sitting on that bench. You know, yeah, nose up there. I don't mind seeing him at centre half or anything like that. What I mean is having him on there as a coach for the defence.
Yeah.
And his presence on the bench, I think would add something for Celtic to see him there. Big winner, big Johan, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he was on the. Who was the manager he was on the bench under? Was that Martin O'Neill the first time around?
I'm sure it was Martin O'Neill. I'm sure it was. I can't remember. I was thinking that when I was talking about it, who is it he was on the bench with? I think it was Martin O'Neill. Somebody can maybe correct us or let us know in the comments. But right now, off the top of my head, I can't remember.
It was either Martin O'Neill or Neil Lennon, John. It was one of the two, wasn't it? It was one of the two. But I can't remember. If it was Lenny. I don't think it was Martin because he was playing under Martin, wasn't he? So,
I'll check that while you're speaking, but I think it was Martin O'Neill. Do I check that now?
Yeah. It was him or Lenny anyway. I just remember him being on the bench, and it was good to see him on the bench, John. You're absolutely right. Okay, so Arthur, he's not getting a kick of the ball just now. Don't understand that, to be honest with you. What's the point in bringing him in? There's actually Miss Pusey, went to John when Pusey was signed on loan. He was sent back to his parent club in January there. So, you know, as you say, maybe Martin O'Neill doesn't like what he sees.
Maybe. I really don't know. But I don't know anything about that young boy. I don't know what he's like. But we need to have some kind of backup in the defence. We haven't got any backup in defence right now. All we've got is Scales and Trusty. That's all we've got. I was looking up Mjällby, by the way, 2010 for Neil Lennon, 7 under Neil Lennon, you were right.
Yeah, Lenny watch. Yeah.
Aye.
But no, I think I'd be brilliant to see Big Mjällby as one of the coaches, defensive coaches, wouldn't it? And you might get a bit more out of some of the defenders that are there, although they're doing a good job. And we know Big Scales, he's a league and cup winner, so it's Big Trusty, league and cup winner. We understand that, but of course, both of the boys had Big Cameron Carter-Vickers beside them last season, John, which have not had this season. So, okay, that'll do the defence, John. That'll do that. We'll cover the defence. We'll cover the midfield. Let's have a wee look at the forward line for Stuttgart. Dyson Maeda. No been on form all season, John, let's be honest. He's had a couple of nice wee bits and bobs here and there. He's a top quality player, we understand that. But even he's not chasing back as much as what he used to, John. So it must be instruction from the manager. It really must. So what do we do then against Stuttgart? Do we put Tenecti on the right again, put Dyson on the left and Kamanchara up front? I'd like to see that, John. That would be my preferred option.
I think that's what probably will happen. I don't think there's going to be a starting place for Yang. Yet again, he was subbed against Kilmarnock. Lacklustre performances. And sometimes you look at Yang, he looks world class. And sometimes you look at him and you think, what have we signed here? He's just one of the players that has absolutely no consistency in Yang.
Yeah.
But Tenecti, I mean, scoring the goals from the right. I mean, that's two replicas he scored at Rugby Park. I mean, he scored one in the Scottish Cup at Rugby Park. And then he's obviously scored the one at the weekend at Rugby Park. So he's got that in him to play on the left-hand side and smash in a world-class effort right into the top corner. So I think it will be Tenecti. You can't not start him after that finish at the weekend. And his performance was tip-top as well. I thought he was outstanding when he came on. So you can't no start with him. He's got to start. Even although I think he makes more of an impact as a sub. I think he's an impact type player. But with somebody with qualities like that can score a goal like that, you've got to start with him. And Dyson on the right-hand side. Dyson's got to be moved away from the left and put out to the right, because I think you get more out of Tenecti on the left. You get more out of Dyson on the left as well. That's the problem, isn't it? They're both strong left-sided players. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's been shifting about, hasn't he? Dyson on the right, Dyson on the left, Trinity on the right, Trinity on the left. Try to get that balance right. That's what that's all about. And then he's got his wee lucky charm, John, as well. James Forrest, who he's brought on the last 15 minutes of the last 3 games, John. I know he brought him out. He was on a bit longer against Kilmarnock, I understand that. But when Forrest comes on, when Jamesy comes on, John, we do turn these games around. So there must be still something there that James Forrest has to offer.
I think James Forrest brings composure. He very, very seldom loses the ball. Very seldom. Unless he tries to take on the whole team, which I think he does that too much. He gets, out in the wide, out in the flanks on the right hand side, and then he cuts in and tries to take it around the whole team, takes it right into the box and then loses it. He loses it that way. But if you use him as a winger just to create passes, he's outstanding. He very, very seldom loses the ball out in the wing. He'll take a man on, he'll get past him, and he'll make a pass. But what annoys me with James Forrest is when he tries to take it right into the box and take on 5-6 players and loses it. If he cut that out of his game, you still get a quality player there in James Forrest, because he can play out in the wing and pick out passes, he can pick out crosses. Just needs to knock it on the head with this, going right into the box and try to take the whole team on, try to create that space for a goal, because it very seldom happens that he gets a goal from it. Very seldom.
Yeah, I know. He used to do it a lot, didn't he? But yeah, I know what you're saying. But he does bring that composure, like you say, John. And we've won every game since he came on as a sub, so there must be something in him. And
there's definitely, he's got a lot to offer Celtic, Jamesy. But I think try to take it around the whole team and stick it into the nets, that's long gone. Yeah. But he's definitely still got a lot of quality and composure.
Yeah, exactly, John. Exactly. All right, that's it. We went through the Celtic squad there. Just a wee, word on the various departments in the squad. And we'll get your predicted 11 in a wee second, John. I'll quickly run through Stuttgart's predicted 11. Goalkeeper Alex Nubel in goal. Then Vangoman, Jelch, Charbot and Maximilian in defence. Midfield of Krasor, Stiller, Lurling, Undav, top scorer Undav, we need to keep an eye on him. Furic and Dermotov, John, up front for them with the 7 goals. Another good striker for them, John, but every single one of the players I just mentioned, John, we need to keep an eye on every one of them.
Aye, Maximilian, that's a name and a half, isn't it?
Maximilian, yeah. Thanks a million.
Thanks a million. I think Maximilian sounds like somebody off the 70s show business, doesn't it? And here's your host, Maximilian. It's just got that kind of showbiz glitz to it.
You didn't realise he's going to score for a corner now, the big defender.
I don't know. I think it's a correct name, Maximilian. It's right up there with Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink.
Yeah, big Jan Vennegoor. Yeah, what would we pay have him playing for Celtic just now, John, up against Stuttgart? Big Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink, brilliant big striker. But we do have Quinn Chara there, John, and you said that about 10-15 minutes ago, maybe that's where you're going to see the best of him.
Well, he'll get a chance to use his pace, because there will be space in behind defenders to run into. So you might see the best out of Quinn Chara in Europe, I think. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see on Thursday night. Right, John, starting 11. What do you think, buddy? Celtic starting 11. I think there's only really one way we can go with this, isn't there? Because our strongest team picks itself. I know we started with a weaker team against Kilmarnock and we brought on the stronger players in the second half, and it's just as well to turn that game around. But I think I'll go a strong starting 11 for Celtic in this one, John. But what do you think?
I'm thinking off the bat that Hatate's got to be dropped. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible now. He's got to be dropped. Can they start with him? It's got to be Schmeichel, Trusty Scales with Arojo and Kieran Tierney. Centre of the park, Callum McGregor. Nygren, or Nugren, as the BBC guy called him.
Yeah.
McGregor.
Lament.
Colin Lament. I don't know what he was calling Kevin Shara, by the way. Evan Shara, he wasn't calling him any day names. It was like, sounded like Tarantula. I don't know.
The spider.
The spider, aye.
I think he's got about 10 different pronunciations for his name, John. So you stick with what you want, I'll stick with what I want, everybody else can stick with what they want. So I don't know.
Well, we all know it's no tarantula.
No, it's no tarantula. Where did we get to? The McGregor, John, you got to?
Aye, it's Vanshara, by the way. That's how you pronounce his name. I think.
Yeah.
McGregor, Nygren, and I don't know if there'll be a start for maybe Chamberlain in this one. You might see him starting this one.
Yeah,
very, very possible. I'm going to stick with that right now. I know he's no fully match fit. He doesn't appear to be that way so far, but I'll go with that right now. McGregor, Nygren, and him. But do you think, Jake, he's ready to start games?
No, John, I totally agree with you. He's not ready for it. But he might be flung in there. He might, because he played that full second half, bit more in the legs, isn't it, for the Oxo Cube. So I think he's there's a chance, John, there's a chance.
Oxo Kate.
Oxy 10.
Aye. I don't know if he's ready to start games or not. I don't think he is. But I think maybe with his experience, I mean, look, he's a Champions League winner as well. He might feel ready. He might feel good to go. He's played a total of probably, 35 minutes for Celtic in total over the two games, 35, 40 minutes in total.
Yeah.
You might see him get in the first half. We'll go with that right now anyway. I don't think McCowan or Hatate is going to start this one. And hopefully no Bernardo. He's done at Celtic. Anyway, up front, it's going to be Dyson on the right, Tenecto on the left, with the cutting outside the defenders and smashing it in at the top corner. I'd like to see that a couple of times at Celtic Park. So I think Dyson on the right, Vanshara through the middle, and Tenecto on the left.
Okay, Doc, John. Sounds good to me. I mean, it's a good starting lineup. It's quite a strong starting lineup. A goalkeeper and centre half is probably our biggest issue because there's no backup for the goalkeeper. Well, we've got Sinisalo there, but he's not going to start Sinisalo, let's be honest. And we have backup for Big Trusty, but he does save his best for the European games, John. So we'll wait and see on Thursday night. Good luck to the champions, John. Just need a score prediction off you for the big league table on your left-hand side there.
Again, I've not given it much thought, really, because I'm not that interested in it. But looking at Stuttgart being favourites, looking at Celtic scraping by in games, I think maybe I'm going to say 2 each.
Yeah, it's a two-legged affair this time, isn't it, John? So it's going to be a wee bit more cagey, possibly. I'll say 2-1 to Celtic, John, in this one. Very close encounter, just because of the home advantage, John. Nothing more than that. Top team come to Celtic Park. Celtic are also a top team as well. So it's going to be close, it's going to be cagey. Well, I hope it is. We don't want to see a 2-0 to Stuttgart or anything like that, John. We don't want to see anything like that. We want to keep ourselves in this tie come 90 minutes on Thursday night.
Just don't want to see Celtic getting beat because it'll totally deplete them for the game against Hibs. The heads will be down after that. This is why I don't want Celtic to be in Europe this season, but this Europa League, sorry. It's all about the league. There's far too many important games going on in the league to even be concerned about Europe. And the concern with Europe for me is demoralising the players if we get turned over. That's what my concern is. On the other side of the coin, you might have some fans back in for this game. I don't think that's going to happen. It might happen, but if it does happen, I think that will give the players a lift.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what happens later on today with the outcome of the meetings. That'll be announced pretty soon, probably, and hopefully it's good news, John. We can maybe even come on if it's good news and maybe we have a wee 10-minute chat on that. Anyway, John, that'll be enough for the day. Good luck to the champions. Good wee sum up there, John. Actually, well done. That was, as you say, don't want anything demoralising the current situation at Celtic. We don't want to see any heavy defeats or anything like that. I don't think that's going to be the case anyway. Hence, I said 2-1 to Celtic. But big game on Thursday night. Can't wait to take over, to be honest, because we need to really concentrate on the league table. As John said, Hibs coming up at the weekend. Right, John, that'll do it. Just one more wee thing. Just get your guess in, folks, for the competition. League table on your left-hand side there. Get your guess in for that. And if you want to join as well, just get your name into the comments and you can join the league table. Get yourself ready for next season. Good luck, everybody, with the competition anyway. And we'll be back on Saturday to do the predictor, midweek predictor, and the weekend predictor. We'll catch up with everything there. Hey, John, any other words before we go?
No, just good luck to Celtic. Just don't get turned over. And I'm only saying that because I don't want the players heads down for the game against Hibs. It's the biggest game, clearly, for me, is the weekend fixture. All the league fixtures are the most important thing to me. And I can't say it enough. I just don't want the players being battered by a team before going into a big league game. We've seen that with Martin O'Neill when he was here. These, do you know what I mean? The European games. We lost the league after Seville, you know what I mean? So yeah. I've always kept that in my mind for years and years, ever since Seville. Europe's always been of secondary importance to me, Xander.
Fair play, and a lot of fans think the same way, John. Okay, right. Thursday night, we'll wait and see what happens, John. Hopefully the meeting goes well later on today as well, the board and the fan groups, etc. John, hopefully that goes well. Everyone gets the atmosphere a wee bit better in and around the club. Okay, John, catch you on Saturday, buddy.
Catch you Saturday. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, John.
The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews. So join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.